And so this is a reminder to really give yourself grace, that if you do end up in these moments of funk, in these moments of not staying consistent, do not get hard on yourself. Do not put yourself down. Welcome to the Be Mindful podcast. I am your host, woman's mindset and manifestation coach, Raechelle Torio. If you are interested in manifestation, personal development, or spirituality, you have came to the right place. This podcast was created with the intention to help you become mindfully aware of how you think, what you speak, and what you believe, because who you are from within is what you will attract from the out. Let's begin. Hi there, beautiful soul. Welcome to the Be Mindful podcast. If you are new here, welcome. I am so excited that you are here. And if you are not new here, I do want to take a second to apologize because I was not consistent. I did not post a new episode last week like I usually do every other Friday. And it's funny because the last episode is all about staying disciplined and staying consistent. And that is something that I wasn't doing. I was not following. So I thought it would be really awesome to talk about it on this next episode and how we can get out of a funk, because recently I've definitely been in one. I've been feeling very overwhelmed, tired, and just really stressed out and feeling like there's not enough time. And because I was in this funk, I wasn't really getting everything that I wanted to done. I was feeling more stressed about it, and it was pushing me more and more to not really showing up for myself. And I think this is an important topic because I know that a lot of us go through this. So we're going to talk about it today. I'm going to give you a few tips on how you can get out of your funk, how you can recognize it and really acknowledge it, and also give you a few things that help me get out of the funk so that I can start really building my confidence again and just getting back on track. So I think it's really important that we understand why we are in this funk anyways. Where did this start? Like, when did it start? What was I doing when this started? And what are the habits that have been preventing me from really showing up fully? That was the first thing I needed to recognize in order for me to really get out of it. And I think the most crucial part, because when you are really in it sometimes, it's hard to get out of it because you're not even aware that you're doing it. A tip I want to give you that has really helped me is knowing that our emotions are signals to our body. So if we are feeling sad, frustrated, stressed, overwhelmed, that is our body telling us, hey, there's something wrong. What is going on here? Let's work on it. Let's try to work through our thoughts and our emotions so that we can get better. And it's also kind of in a way for your body signaling, hey, we need to create some change right now because clearly you're not happy. Clearly you are stressed, so let's work on it. One thing I want you to remember is that our thoughts in our head can grow, right? Whatever you focus on can grow. And it's like the things that we need to get done. We get so overwhelmed that we constantly think about it, but then because we're so overwhelmed, we don't want to actually take action. So what's important is that we learn how to release those thoughts that are in our head, because those thoughts create our emotions, and those thoughts also create the behaviors that manifest into our reality. And when you suppress those thoughts and your emotions, you are going to be keeping in so much of that emotion bottled up in your body that there's no way for it to come out, and you're going to feel that stress. You're going to feel very overwhelmed. So I highly recommend that once you accept what is and acknowledge what you're going through, it's time for you to really try your best to understand those emotions and see why you even feel that way in the first place. These are the exact steps I took to get out of this funk, and I do it every time because, of course, I'm not human and there's no way for us to be 100% all of the time. There's just no way. That's not possible. Life happens, things happen. And as women as well, our hormones every month are fluctuating. So I also, me personally, track that as well, because I notice that when it's that time of that month, I tend to be a little bit more self-critical. I am a little bit more harder on myself. And those are the times that I tell myself, okay, maybe those are the weeks that I don't put too much workload purposely, because I already know how my body tends to feel around that time. So the more we understand our bodies, the easier it's going to be to respond the best way possible. So I'm going to share with you a few habits that have made me realize, okay, this is why I feel this way. And then I'm going to give you all of the tips that have helped me in the past. And that's also what's great about coming out of these moments of being in a funk. You get to recognize the things that really aren't benefiting you, and you can look back at the things that were. And that way, you could take action and do things that really benefit you and build your confidence and really help you transform into the person that you really want to be. So how and why did this start for me? How did I get into this funk? And honestly, it came from fear and it came from perfectionism. I am someone who has struggled with perfectionism pretty much my entire life. I have constantly for many years set a bar so high that was so unrealistic that even if I did my best, it just wasn't enough. I'm at a point now where if I do my best, I am very proud of myself. I congratulate myself. I celebrate my wins, because I think that every single one of us should do that. Because I know if your best friend or someone you love did something amazing, you would be cheering them on. And that is something that you should do for yourself, even if it's big or small. No matter what, cheer yourself on. So where my perfectionism ties into this and why it really led me back into this funk is because I wanted things to come out perfectly. It's why this episode was delayed, because I had so many ideas, but I wasn't actually following through with it. I kept thinking that everything that I was sharing had to be perfect. And I would record and then stop and delete and then edit. And I would just tell myself, like, oh my gosh, that was horrible. Or, wow, I'm not doing that well. And because I kept telling myself that, I wouldn't actually follow through. And this fear that ties into that is just not being enough, not doing well and not believing that my best was enough. I was battling with that. I was battling with those thoughts in my head. And I also wasn't allowing myself to release that. I wasn't journaling about it. I wasn't talking out loud about it to myself. Those are things that for me personally help me. When I am talking out loud to myself, like, okay, why do I have this fear? What is going on? Why do I feel this way? That tends to help me, because I feel like I'm kind of coaching myself. Or journaling about it, writing about it, or even sharing my struggles with my husband. That helps me too. But I wasn't really doing that. I was kind of just keeping it bottled in, telling myself I'm going to do it, but it just kept prolonging. Just like when it came to posting on TikTok, I started getting really overwhelmed, feeling like my videos weren't good enough and my ideas weren't good enough. And I kept thinking I didn't have anything to say, but really there's just so much to talk about and so much to say. I clearly was doubting my abilities. And that's exactly what led me to where I am at this very moment. It's the perfectionism and the fear. And because of that, I wasn't taking action, and I just kept everything in my head, where it created a lot of anxiety within myself. The second thing that I noticed that was preventing me from really showing up, staying consistent, and also leading me into this funk was social media. Oh man, TikTok, you got me. Wow, I was really finding myself going on my social media apps with no idea why I'm going on it. I'm just going on it just to go on it. And sometimes I noticed it was becoming just a habitual habit. And I noticed that I was getting addicted to it, which is scary because when you get so consumed with social media, you lose track of the present moment and you're missing the opportunity to create and focus on the things that actually matter to you. And because I noticed that I was going on social media so often, it was really preventing me from creating like I usually love to do. I was putting this pressure on myself that what I create isn't good enough. And I also wasn't being very intentional with my time and energy. I share my experience and I want to be vulnerable with you because it's not fair to just share only the good parts, right? I want you to know that I struggle sometimes too. I want you to know that I am not always consistent. I am human. You are human. And so this is a reminder to really give yourself grace that if you do end up in these moments of funk, in these moments of not staying consistent, do not get hard on yourself. Do not put yourself down. Instead, accept it and acknowledge it and then take steps forward. That's all you can do. And that's the best thing to do to benefit yourself and to benefit yourself now and the future. So those were the main things that I noticed was really preventing me from showing up fully and really feeling confident in myself. Because of course, when we stop really taking action and we don't show up for ourselves, we don't keep those promises, it really affects our own confidence. So now let's talk about the habits that help me build my confidence, that help me show up, and also just overall make me feel good. And of course, this can be different for everyone. So, whatever I share with you, like I always say, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. So, even though I was going through this, I was still keeping up with this one routine. And it's something that I want to share with you because I think you should add it into your daily routine as well. I think it's crucial and it's helpful and it's showing gratitude. I write what I'm grateful for every day. If I miss a day, I don't get hard on myself. I just do it again. So even though I was going through it, I was still going through that. So I highly recommend that being your first step if you are trying to steer your way back into being able to feel that spark again. You can never go wrong with gratitude. It's so important to be grateful, right? The second thing that really helps me get out of a funk is getting outside. So I am someone who is very lucky that I am able to work from home. But because I work from home, sometimes I get very stuck. And I don't know about you, but I am a homebody. Like, I love being home. I love being a couch potato. My husband knows that I just need my time to just be home and do nothing sometimes. That is totally me. But sometimes it can be a little toxic where I don't even want to leave my house. But I have noticed recently that emotionally, I haven't been feeling my best. And I know it's because I haven't been outside as much. A big part of it is because there's been a lot of rain. There hasn't been that much sun. So it has been a little bit difficult for me to do that. So when I can, I do try to go outside and I do notice that makes such a big difference when I make the effort to, go on walks or me and my husband will go to our favorite spot. It's also the spot he proposed to me to. It's called the Ventura Cross. Highly recommend you look it up. It's a beautiful place that oversees all of Ventura County. I just love going there, and that is one of my favorite places to go to kind of just help me reset. And me and my husband will even go there sometimes to journal and talk about what we want to manifest. Another thing that has really helped me get out of my funk is body movement for sure. I think that's really, really crucial. The relationship with yourself and your body is so important. And with body movement, you're able to maneuver that energy around. That's exactly why when people go to work out, they feel so good after, right? And they're just so proud of themselves and they have that like high. But in general, move your body, whether that's going for a walk or just turning on a favorite song and just moving to it. I highly recommend that. One of my friends, I've reached out to her before, just asking her about her day and how she structures it, because she's a mom of two. She's really amazing. And she also has a full-time job. She owns two small businesses. And I just don't know how she does it. She's a super mom. And so I've asked her, like, how do you do that? Like, how do you go throughout your day? And the one thing she told me that I loved so much was that her and her kids will have like this dance-a-thon, and they will do it at a specific time every day. And I think that's so fun, you know, creating that joy in your life, like being able to turn up music and just start dancing. Like, that's so awesome. And I love that. And that can be your way of movement, getting your body to release that energy however you need to. It doesn't have to be dancing. It doesn't have to be a specific workout. It could be however you want, but move your body. All right, I got 3 more tips for you. The next one is writing your dreams and your desires and your goals as often as possible. I highly recommend doing it every week, if anything, just because I think that repetition is just so powerful. And the more you focus on it and remind yourself, you are more than likely to show up for yourself to manifest that into your life. And I think it's also great because sometimes our goals change and sometimes we forget what we're working towards. We forget our why. Writing my desires really gets me excited. And me doing it every week or every few days just helps me focus on myself. And when I do that, I feel more motivated because I'm like, yes, this is what I'm working on. Yes, this is what's possible for me. And I'm pretty sure statistically, those who write down their goals are more than likely to achieve them than those who don't. So, write it down and remind yourself of it as often as you can. And if you don't write it weekly, read it daily. That's actually a really big part of manifesting, because the more you believe that it's possible for you, you're going to show up for yourself, because what you believe will only manifest into reality. What you believe will create your thoughts and your behaviors. And if you're interested, check my show notes and you can order my brand new manifestation journal. It's all about scripting. And in the journal, it'll provide you tips on how to use the journal, how to manifest, and so much more. My favorite part about this journal are the affirmations that's provided in it, and also the front cover. We have 6 different colors: purple, green, blue, beige, black, and pink. So if you're interested, check the show notes. The next thing that gets me out of the funk is preparing for my week ahead. I know that planning out your week can be really stressful at times, but it really makes a big difference. And if you are curious on how you can do that, go back to my last episode, episode 9, that focuses on being productive and staying consistent and disciplined. And I talk all about that and how you can really utilize your calendar and prepare yourself to be successful and get things done. There's a specific strategy that I teach my clients to really hone in and get shit done. So if you really want to learn about that, you could definitely book a call with me. I have a goal setting and clarity call. Feel free to book a call with me below, or if you'd like to work with me one-on-one, feel free to email me, mindfulray@rosal.us. And the last thing that really helps me get out of that funk is reconnecting to now. Knowing that I have control in this present moment to respond the best way possible. Accepting what is, acknowledging it, and just letting go of the past and being present right now so I can move forward. I hope this episode reminded you that you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to always be completely consistent and disciplined. Yes, it's awesome to be consistent and disciplined, but if you fall out of it, you can reset at any time. That's what's so beautiful about life. You don't have to be so perfect. The journey's not going to be perfect, no matter what. But give yourself some grace. And like I said, acknowledge your emotions. Acknowledge how you're feeling. Those emotions are signals, so listen to them. That way you can really pivot and acknowledge what's going on and take the best next steps. All right, beautiful souls, that is the end of our episode. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe, whatever platform you're listening on. Please rate the podcast. That would really help me out. And also, if you are interested in sharing with me what topics you'd like me to talk more about, feel free to put it in the rating. Feel free to message me on Instagram. All of the info to get a hold of me is in my show notes. But other than that, we are done for today. And don't forget, be mindful, because who you are from within will attract from the out. See you in the next episode. Bye.